Hey, I'm Gaurav. Welcome to my channel with today's topic specifically for the Russian oil and a lot of things that go around it. In other words, how EU still gets the Russian oil with the shadow fleet. Hi, if you're new to this channel, I'm so glad you're here. My name is Gaurav and I simplify interesting topics such as these. So if this interests you, consider subscribing to new content on my channel and ring the bell to get notified at the earliest when new videos post up. So today's video is about we clarify how West or say EU price cap on Russian oil and energy market, which we have heard so much about, but EU still gets the oil. Let me simplify by giving out a few insights into how this scenario has been shaping up. How is the West price cap on Russian oil that could roil the whole energy market, right? Traders expect a damn squib that they could get something else for that. Ever since Russia invaded Ukraine in Feb, America's energy policy has pursued into grand similarly contradicting aims, right? First is to keep global supply high enough that prices remain, say, tolerable for public support, plus sanctions stay strong. Second is to stop uh, Putin's war machine by stemming the flow of dollars the Russia earns by throttling the oil barrels. Together they form a circle that's hard to understand because with supply closely tracked, demand amid the new production, taking any new oil in the market mechanically triggers a higher prices. West has nevertheless tried to defy the laws of physics by crafting its growing array of measures to meddle in the oil market. Now coming on to the measures or tactics that they have deployed. The ones that have been deployed until now have often been piecemeal in blocks, sanctions, something here, something there, right? But it is puncturing its own sanctions against Venezuela. Now, what can we say? In November, America gave permission to Chevron to crank up its production for Venezuela. America also released huge volumes from its strategic crude oil stocks, and it's now that reserve went low, so it's restocking up. Where from? That's either Venezuela or Russia only can do. Again, it has cajoled the Gulf states to pump more oil, but you remember OPEC declared they would cut output instead. So now this is a very unlikely situation for the US also. Now, yet the West's most carefully constructed campaign to outsmart Putin has come to action. Say, from June, EU announced that it will ban imports of Russian oil, right? Uh, which accounted for, say, around 2 million barrels or, say, what, 40% of Russia's total crude export a year ago. One more step, then it's also required that they would bar European providers in maritime services, tanks, insurance to help non-EU buyers get hold of the Russian barrels. But that's a very powerful thing given that the most firms that dominate global shipping are EU based. It's like America is those two measures had the potential to squeeze the global supply. Again, you think yes, but so what is the difference here? They are introducing a weakening clause provided they agree to pay the maximum price set by G7 for Russian oil, right? So non-Western buyers could still buy and they would have the European insurance to hoodwink the rest of the world. But their supplies, you would have heard about UK. It's doing a supply via Greece. It still gets the Russian oil. But for the others, they have to work on this to get it. UK keeps working. It can hurt Russia's finance to a little bit. They are not worried about the shipping industry for Russia to keep its closed market levels. Rumors are filtering out from the talks that oil can go above $60, but they are keeping a cap on it, right? The global benchmark of say $85 to barrel, which is what Russia sells at oil to other nations. Now this has been all hanky-panky stuff. Whatever the outcome, one thing is certain. Never before has such fiddly set of measures hit the global oil market at once. Many of these have signaled for so long that they may cause few problems initially, but there are reasons you could think the boat can be rocked, at least for a while only. In an optimistic scenario, the package of sanctions could manage to reconcile the West's two contradictory aims. Again, the embargo would ensure Europe no longer fuels Mr. Putin's war directly. Last month, the bloc, though, bought 2.4 or more million barrels of oil from Russia. Meanwhile, the price caps would act as a release valve, if you would say, keeping the global market in balance by letting developing countries also buy Russian oil at a discount. Russia would receive less money, right? Whether or not those countries sign up to the plan, because the mere existence of a cap, or so what Russia wants, could boost their bargaining power with Russia in different currencies like what India has done. The price cap, as likely to be the case, would be cost to Russia would be, say, a little bit only. It can be an inconvenience created by West's broader arsenal of sanctions, which may impair Russia's economy in the long run, but it has hardly proved any terminal so far. The discounts won by Russian grades over regional benchmarks have widened in recent weeks but remain well below those seen in the aftermath of, say, the invasion. So it has settled down a lot. The embargo would not roil crude markets or commodity markets. Aside from this, the Brent futures, which in June indicated a year ahead oil price approaching 100, right? Now places it at 85. So they change the traders expect an acceleration of the shift in fuel flows, which they have seen here with India and China taking over from Europe as Russia's biggest customers officially. So wanted to have this much of discussion in this part of the video series about Russian oil versus West sanctions, and how West or Europe, even UK, you would have heard very specifically that they bypass those. So these were a few basics of what we should be aware, how these oil sanction and modalities work for rest of the world and US and EU. Be sure to like and subscribe my channel to updates to this topic plus host of other topics that I bring in, plus series 2 of this. Beyond this, if you are interested in more of these videos, do comment below, and thank you for following this video till the very end.